this a bit differently today because I have not had time to sit down, edit, process, and upload a video. So we are doing another live stream. This is going to be your Week 12 NFL Pick'ems. This is titled the Harbaugh Bowl because John and Jim are playing against each other on Monday Night Football. And as your resident Ravens fan, as you could tell by the decor behind me, yeah, Baltimore. And if you're wondering whose jersey this is a away Ravens Eric Weddle jersey. Why Weddle? Because we're playing the Chargers. He played for the Chargers, also played for the Ravens. But without further ado, we start with the first matchup of the night, which is Thursday Night Football between the Steelers and the Browns. Now, I gotta hand it to the Steelers. I don't like the Steelers, but I respect them. I actually had a conversation with a guy at work about this. I said those exact words, and he was like, the feeling is mutual. So, who do I have winning this game and why? Well, the Ravens defense, right? And this isn't about the Ravens, but I'm going to make it about them for just a second. Held Russell Wilson to probably the worst game he's had since taking over for Justin Fields. But that said, they still got Boswell, who made all 6 of his kicks, whereas Tucker did not, and that's concerning. But I don't think it's just Tucker, to be honest, but we'll get into that later. The Steelers still have Pickens, Boswell, TJ Watt, who is a menace. That man is a menace. On the other side of that, you got the Cleveland Browns. Their quarterback currently is Jameis Winston. I got nothing but respect for Winston. But they got Myles Garrett. They got Nick Chubb, who, to my boy Michael's credit, has not been the Nick Chubb of last year, or previous years, which is to be expected. He's coming off a torn ACL or meniscus. Give me the Steelers winning this. They're probably going to end up winning the division, if we're being honest, as much as that pains me to say. I could see them slipping up in a couple of games at the end, but we would have to essentially win out or lose only 1, maybe 2 more games. But give me the Steelers winning. Titans, Texans. Now here's the thing. The Titans are a petty-ass organization. How petty are they? The Houston Oilers, right? It was the Houston Oilers. Not the Tennessee Oilers. But guess who has the rights to those unis? Tennessee does. And I know why they have the rights. But they are so petty that they would not, when the Texans were redesigning their uniforms for this upcoming season, they would not let them use the shade of blue that was in the Oilers colorway. Other reasons that organization is petty: they wouldn't let they would not trade Derrick Henry to us last season. You could have put your pride and your ego aside, and you could have got draft compensation for him. But instead, you just let him sign with us in free agency, which is fine. We didn't have to give up anything besides money for him, which, well worth it, by the way. You traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs. That's not the part I'm mad about. Initially, that was the part I was mad about. However, the part I'm mad about now is the fact that you only traded him for a 5th rounder. What are we doing? But yeah, that said, give me the Texans over the Titans. Vikings and the Bears. Now, the Bears almost beat the Packers last week, or this past weekend. And the only reason they didn't is because the Packers blocked the field goal. So does that mean I'm turning a new leaf and thinking that the Bears are going to beat the Minnesota Vikings? Hell no. Hell no, they're not going to beat the Vikings. Yeah, so I got the Vikings winning this. Jefferson, Addison, Sam Darnold's still doing his thing. So, yeah, give me the Vikings winning that. Now, the Cowboys and the Commanders. This one would have been interesting at the beginning of the season if Dallas was healthy. But Dallas is not healthy. However, the game still has to be played. Jake Paul has more wins in AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do this season. So that's saying something. And it's not the fan base I'm mad at with Dallas. It's Jerry Jones. Because he doesn't know how to put his damn ego aside. You said you were going all in this offseason. If you didn't say that and would have just made the moves you made, you wouldn't be getting clowned. But you let Derrick Henry sign with us instead of y'all. Your all-in trade deadline move was trading for a wide receiver whose name I can't even pronounce right now. Or the name doesn't even come to me right now. And that's not me trying to hate or anything, but yeah. Now the Commanders, though. The Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them, the football team. They have a phenomenal rookie quarterback by the name Jaden Daniels. I'm a diehard LSU fan. And because of that, I can be a little biased with that sometimes. But if you look at what's presented to you on the tape, on paper, the Commanders are easily going to take a win against this team because this isn't Cowboys teams of the past where, they run through the regular season and then get knocked out. With that said, yep, I got the Commanders winning that because they got Jaden, they got Scary Terry, they got Austin Eckler. Defense, they're figuring things out. Their kicker's pretty good too. Used to be able to say that about our kicker, but I digress. Patriots, Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins. Why am I taking the Dolphins? Waddle, Hill, Odell, Tua's back. Now the Chiefs and the Panthers. The Chiefs suffered their first loss of the season last week against the Buffalo Bills. And I do believe I did pick the Bills winning that game. But, hey, I'm glad I didn't bet on that or anything because seen some stuff at work the other day that caught me off guard. So me and one of my coworkers, we were opening up, right? My manager, we're opening up, we're going about our day. His family comes in. I'm not thinking anything of it at first. And then I look up and I'm like, oh, this dude, maybe 18, 19, 20 at the oldest, is dressed in full drag, I guess we could say, head to toe because he lost a bet. And I'm like, hey, I ain't going to shame anybody, do what you want to do, but it caught me off guard. But that wasn't even the weirdest part. The weirdest part about that whole interaction we had with those customers was I was talking to them about like how me and my manager had made a bet on the Eagles-Ravens game, and this lady claims to be a psychic and is like, maybe you shouldn't make bets, something along the lines of essentially implying that the Eagles were going to win. And I was like, if it happens, it happens, but I am on record for being skeptical of, I'm not going to say all mediums, because there are some that do know what they're doing, but like, this lady seemed like she was just saying stuff, to be honest. But, anywho, Chiefs, Panthers. Now, the Panthers had a chance to do the funniest thing in the NFL. And that was bring an end to the Chiefs' undefeated streak. However, because the Bills handled that, the Chiefs are going to put belt to ass and absolutely demolish the Panthers. Bucks Giants. Now, this is sad to say, honestly, on the Giants end. Danny Dimes has been demoted. Not to the backup quarterback, not the third string. This man has been demoted to the fourth string QB for the New York Giants. So, DeVito, I believe it's Tommy DeVito. For some reason, I was drawing a blank on the name there. My apologies. Tommy DeVito is the first string quarterback. Drew Luck is the second string quarterback. Tim Boyle. Who? Exactly. Tim Boyle is the third string quarterback. And the guy that you invested all this money into in the offseason, you picked him over Saquon. Again, you picked him over Saquon. You did that. You got to deal with him. You got to let him go out there, be QB1. I got the Bucks winning this game. I believe Mike Evans is supposed to be coming back from injury. And with that said, the only bright spot the Giants really have going for them, other than a high draft pick, the running back that they have to replace Saquon looks pretty decent, so I will give him his props. Lions Colts. Now we are back in the Anthony Richardson era. We are no longer in the Joe Flacco era. But that said, I have the Lions winning this game, no problem. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout like we saw against the Jaguars. But, yeah. Broncos, Raiders. This is no longer the Devontae Adams Raiders. Max Crosby's still over there. Max Crosby is phenomenal. I would trade damn near my first through fourth round draft pick and then some players to get Max Crosby on my team. That's how good of a pass rusher this man is. However, I need a certain player from the Broncos because a certain somebody in one of my fantasy leagues, hey Harith, beat me, and now I've been bumped down to third. So I am trying to reclaim that title of first place in fantasy football. And my opponent that I'm playing actually has ties to this quarterback through being a fan of Oregon. So, Mr. Bo Nix, if you will, I need you to work your magic Sunday and just put the brakes on the Raiders. But yeah, I got the Broncos winning this. Cardinals, Seahawks. Now the NFC West has been something this year, hasn't it? When I did my NFC prediction video, I want to say I had the Niners or the Rams winning this. Maybe I had Arizona. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go back and watch the tape, review the tape. But I definitely had the Niners, I think, winning it because of, how far they got last year. But the Cardinals are surprising a lot of people. They got Kyler Murray. They got Marvin Harrison Jr., James Conner. The Seahawks got Mike McDonald. And Mike, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going with the Cardinals. Speaking of the Niners, though, we got the Niners and we got the Green Bay Packers. Who am I going to take in this game? Believe it or not, you would think I would pick the Niners because of how, previous encounters with this team have went. But I'm picking the Packers. Eagles-Rams, Sunday Night Football. Not a bad Sunday Night Football match. But the Eagles got Jalen Hurts. They got Saquon Barkley. Which I said at the beginning of the season, that Saquon and Derrick Henry were going to be the two best running backs in the NFL this season. And so far, that prediction, or that statement, has been true. Other than that, they got Devontae Smith, they got A.J. Brown, so I'm going to take the Eagles beating the Rams. And then we get into the Harbaugh Bowl. Monday Night Football. The Ravens coming off, I don't want to say an embarrassing loss, but they're coming off a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And how many times and in which fashion we've lost to the Steelers, that part is embarrassing. It's not to take anything from them. The Steelers are a great football team. They have probably the best, or one of the top three for sure, head coaches in the NFL. And we couldn't seem to get past them. Lamar pissed me off in this game, to be honest. Not to say I still don't like him as a player or a quarterback, but he wouldn't take the run lanes when they were available. And, Lamar from like a couple of years ago, you take the run lane, they're there, 10, 15, maybe 20 yards easily. But he hesitates now. And, we're going into I don't want to say enemy territory, but we're going to be playing the Chargers, which is Ravens West, because they have damn near everybody from that conference team. But also, we're going up against an offensive coordinator who I cannot stand, in Greg Roman. Who has the most film on Greg Roman? It would be us. So if you want to tell me that we're going to go into the Charger Stadium and not have a game plan and not bounce back, I don't personally think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be close, but I think we pull it off somehow. Maybe Tucker finds his mojo again, he gets back on track, and we win by 3 points. If this is a blowout, I'd be surprised, because I'm not going to take anything away from Justin Herbert. Herbert is a phenomenal quarterback. I, however, do think that Greg Roman is holding him back in the same aspects in which I thought Greg Roman was holding Lamar Jackson back. Now, that first season we had Roman, where Lamar played a full season, I'll give him his dues, because Lamar won MVP that year. So he had some credit in his development. But if you look at Herbert's stats right now, his touchdown to interception ratio, he only has touchdowns in the teens right now. I think it's 13 touchdowns to something. And that stat may be wrong. I do apologize if it is. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Ravens to win this one. And this has essentially been episode 44 of the Fourth Down Forum podcast. Stuff coming up on the channel. I am going to do a Survivor Series War Games prediction video. If it somehow falls to where I can't do the prediction video, it will be a recap video, one of the two. Like I said, we are currently in holiday season where I'm at right now, so Thanksgiving's coming up. That's going to be followed by Christmas. I work retail, so I'm not going to be readily available all the time. And, retail can drain. I'm not saying it's the most demanding job, but it can drain you. And yeah, so that's coming up. Christmas Day, I will not be posting a lot of and I do apologize if it seems like I'm stuttering or going over my words or slurring over my words. I'm just tired right now. So, but Christmas Day I will not be doing a lot of podcast stuff, because me, my brother, and our friend Michael, you've seen him on the channel before, we're actually going to NRG Stadium to watch the Texans and Ravens game on Christmas Day. So, found out that Beyonce is the halftime performer for that. So, because of that, I'm going to ask her why she cut the lights off in Super Bowl 47 to try and stop the Ravens from winning their second one. That said, thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the support. I do want to remind y'all that we are doing a giveaway for a mini helmet once we hit 500 subscribers on the channel. All you got to do, subscribe to the channel, like a video. Once we get that number to 500, I'll do a thing on the community page. I'll be like, hey, these are the rules for the contest. We'll draw a name at random and we'll go from there. We are going to be promoting this more going into the new year because I will get a lot more free time, I should say. But thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the support. This has been episode 44. Episode 45 will be the more traditional non-live format. So this is the second time we've done the live streaming format on the channel. It will get better the more that I do the live streaming format. I know I'm yapping right now, but much love, much appreciated, and I'm going to end it on that note. I'll catch you all in the next episode.